Roma?
The story happened at Pam's house.
Okay, let me write it on the board. Okay. Is there any other thing that you'd like to say about it?
The characters.
The characters?
The characters are Pam, her father, and her sister.
Okay. The characters. You see, the character is another element of the story. But in the meantime, we'll just write it under setting. Will you do that again? Will you tell me the characters in the story?
Pam.
Yeah. Okay. Pam.
Her sister.
Her sister.
And her father.
The father. Remember that we can isolate the character. It can also be an element of the story, right? How about the next one, the problem? Anybody? Yes?
Pam cannot find her sister's ring.
Okay. Pam cannot find her sister's ring. Okay? Now, if there is a problem, there must be a goal to solve the problem. Anybody who can tell me the goal? You again? Okay, let's hear you.
Pam must find the ring.
All right, let me write it on the board. Pam must find the ring. All right, in order to solve or to achieve the goal, there must be some events which happen in the story. Can you give me one of the events? Yes, my dear?
Pam looked everywhere she had been in her bedroom.
Come again?
Pam looked everywhere she had been in her bedroom.
Oh, I see. Okay, let me just write that on the board. Pam looked everywhere, or looks everywhere in her bedroom. Any other event? Yes?
Pam looks in the bathroom.
Okay. Let me write it. Pam looks in the bathroom. Okay? Okay. Is there any other event? Yes?
Pam looks at her hands.
Okay. That is event 3. Looks at her hands. And was the problem solved? Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Pam finds the ring on her hand.
And that part is the resolution. Let me try to write it on the board. Will you say it again? Pam
Finds the ring on her hand.
Okay. Finds the ring where? All right. Pam finds the ring in her hands. That part is the resolution. Always remember that when you read a story, you try to identify the story parts, the setting, the problem, the goal, and the resolution. Knowing them will help you understand the story.
Once the student gets familiar with the parts of a story, this reader will enhance his or her comprehension in reading a story. He or she identifies the parts. He or she anticipates or predicts what is next in the story. We are all aware that predicting is an indication of an actively engaged proficient reader. Thus, knowledge of story grammar, or knowing the structure of a story used by the writer, enables the reader to imaginatively go through the act of composing. Not a few reading educators look at reading and writing as information processing activities. These educators find parallelism of sub-processes used in both. When one writes, the following steps are used: planning, writing the draft, and revising. In reading, the reader plans to the pre-reading activities. He or she makes predictions, hypotheses about the content. The writer prepares the draft, and if his or her predictions are not confirmed, he or she revises. The writer, too, revises until he or she is satisfied in having his plan in print. Therefore, we can say that steps used in reading are planning, actual reading, and revising. Neither reading nor writing is done in a strictly linear process. Rather, both are recursive processes. Now, let's move on and explore other reading-writing connections. Observe this high school student.
Michelle, let's go to the library.
Why? Is there something urgent?
I can't write about the essay on euthanasia that Miss Dizon gave us. I think I have to read some models.
I have a book of essays at home. Actually, it's my mother's own. But I can lend it to you one day.
Oh, really? Thank you. But I feel I still need to go to the library.
I guess I should go with you. I have to read more on the topic too.
After listening to Connie and Alma, I am sure that you were able to see a kind of reading-writing connection. Alma wanted to see or read samples of essays to be able to write one. What then is the reading-writing connection here? You are right. Reading models affects writers. In Alma's case, reading a sample or model essay will help her write essay. I think you provide this experience to your students, don't you? You encourage them to read to orient them on the hows or on styles of writing. Those who believe that models will help writers actually adopt this three-stage model. Using models to help writers: first, read a classic model and learn how to write. Second, analyze the features of the model. Third, write similar type of material, be it essay, poem, short story, and others. But how does Alma feel about it? She thought that it was enough to read models. She wanted to read more about the topic. She used reading to have more input in her essay. The reading-writing connection here capitalizes on reading as a source of content information on the topic to be written. What then is another existing belief that supports a reading instructional linkage with the other language skills? Reading existing models affect writers. Reading helps provide ideas to write about. How does reading relate to writing can also be seen in this activity of high school students across the curriculum. Watch this.
Class, I want you to read a chapter on monocots and dicots. But this time, take down notes using a chart.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, class, for your assignment, you have to read the chapter on the coming of the Spaniards to the Philippines. And after doing so, you have to list some of the activities that the Spaniards did and comment on their effect on the lives of Filipinos. Be able to get that?
You've just heard two teachers in the content areas, such as science and history, asking their students to read references and write information they will get from the text. Writing here is used as a means to enhance learning. What was learning in the text read is produced in writing. In the social studies context, the students are even made to further think on paper, elaborate on what they read, or extend their thinking about content area concepts. It is widely claimed that when students write, they think more, reflect more, are able to identify informational gaps. In so doing, he finds an opportunity to better crystallize his or her thoughts. This must probably be what Bacon meant when he said that writing maketh an exact man. Writing then, in relation to reading, is a writing to learn activity with reading as a take-off point. What about early or beginning readers? Does the reading-writing connection make sense? We will give you the answer to this when we return. Don't go away.